She said it's just a dance, relax, while grinding on her ex at her sister's wedding. So I left before dessert. Now her ex blocked her. Her family's embarrassed, and she's begging me to talk. Hey viewers, before we get into the video, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button if you want to see more stories like this. Thanks. I always believed Rachel and I had something solid. We met at a friend's birthday party 2 years ago, and from the start everything felt easy. She was funny and confident, the kind of person who could light up any room she walked into. I'm quieter, more of the type who listens than talks. She said she liked that about me, that I balanced her out. Somewhere along the way, that balance started to feel one-sided. Rachel worked in event planning, so her weekends were usually packed with parties, weddings, and corporate events. I didn't mind. I trusted her. Whenever she texted saying she was out late with clients or coworkers, I'd just tell her to have fun and stay safe. I never wanted to be the insecure boyfriend. But after her ex, Dylan, started appearing in her life again, I noticed things slowly changing. He was a high school boyfriend, someone she hadn't spoken to in years. At least that's what she told me. Then one night, out of nowhere, she said, "Guess who I ran into at the coffee shop? Dylan. He's actually not as bad as I remember." At first, I didn't think much of it. People change. Old acquaintances reconnect. That's normal. But soon Dylan began showing up in her stories. Group photos, work mixers, random run-ins. The first time I mentioned it, she rolled her eyes and said, "You're reading too much into it. We're just friends." So I dropped it. I didn't want to be the jealous boyfriend. Still, it was hard to ignore the shift. She became colder, less affectionate, more sarcastic. When I asked about her day, she'd sigh and say, "It was fine. You don't have to ask every single time." If I sent a sweet text, she'd leave it on read and later say, "Sorry, I was busy." At first, I told myself she was just stressed. Her sister's wedding was coming up, and she'd been helping plan every detail. I tried to support her however I could, helping her sister and fiancé with last-minute errands, and even covering some extra expenses when the catering went over budget. Rachel said it meant a lot that I helped her family. Her parents liked me too. They'd often say I was the calm presence Rachel needed. I think part of them knew she could be a little reckless sometimes. The week before the wedding, we were all having dinner at her parents' house when her sister casually mentioned that Dylan was invited. Rachel simply shrugged. "He's friends with the groom. It's not a big deal." Her mom gave her a look, but Rachel waved it away. "Ethan's not going to get weird about it. He's secure." I smiled politely, but inside something twisted. It wasn't anger, it was more like a quiet uneasiness, the kind of tension that doesn't come from jealousy, but from feeling subtly disrespected over and over again. That feeling had been growing for months. 2 nights before the wedding, Rachel sent me a late text. "Just a heads up, Dylan might be there with a date, so don't make things awkward." I stared at the message for a while. It wasn't, "Are you okay with that?" Or even "just letting you know." It was, "Don't make things awkward." I typed back, "Noted," and left it at that. She replied with a thumbs up emoji and didn't text again until the morning of the wedding. Even then, I told myself to stay calm. It was her sister's big day and I wasn't about to cause a scene or ruin anything. I just wanted to be there for her family. The people who had always treated me kindly, even when she didn't. When I arrived at the venue, Rachel looked stunning in her bridesmaid dress. For a moment, the tension faded. She walked over, kissed me on the cheek, and said, "Try to smile today, okay? My family loves when you pretend to be social." Pretend? I laughed it off, but that single word stuck with me. The rest of the afternoon. During the ceremony, I sat beside her parents. They quietly talked about how proud they were of their daughters and how beautiful everything looked. Rachel caught my eye once from the altar and smiled as if nothing was wrong. I believed her, or maybe I just wanted to. The ceremony ended beautifully, and for a while everything felt almost normal again. People were laughing, the band was playing, and everyone seemed genuinely happy. I told myself to stop overthinking, that Rachel was just being herself, social, lively, the center of attention. Dinner went smoothly. I talked with her dad about work, clinked glasses with a few of her cousins, and tried to stay present. Rachel moved from table to table, checking on guests and helping the bride. Every now and then she'd stop by, touch my shoulder, smile, and then disappear again. Then the reception started. The DJ dimmed the lights, and couples began filling the dance floor. The newlyweds had their first dance, followed by a string of upbeat songs. Rachel was out there immediately, pulling her sister and the bridesmaids into a circle, laughing like she didn't have a single worry in the world. I stayed seated with her parents, sipping a drink and watching everything unfold. And then I saw him. Dylan. He walked in like he owned the place, sleeves rolled up, tie loosened, wearing that smug grin that instantly makes you want to wipe it off someone's face. He greeted a few people, hugged the groom, and before long he was out on the dance floor too. Rachel noticed him immediately. Her smile changed, not in an obvious way, but just enough that you could tell it meant something different. They started talking. At first, I told myself it was harmless. They stood a few feet apart, laughing and catching up. But when the DJ switched to a slow, sultry song, everything shifted. Dylan placed his hand on her waist. She hesitated for half a second, glanced around, then said something I couldn't hear. A moment later, they were dancing. And it wasn't just the usual awkward side-to-side wedding dance either. No grinding, but his hands rested on her hips, her back pressed against his chest, her hair brushing against his jaw. Her parents noticed too. Her mom's face fell. Her dad muttered, "Jesus Christ," under his breath. I froze. My chest felt hollow, like someone had pulled all the air out of the room. Rachel glanced over her shoulder in the middle of the dance and met my eyes. And instead of stopping, she smirked. Actually smirked. Her dad leaned closer and whispered, "You okay, son?" I nodded slowly, stood up and walked toward the bar. I needed air. Or maybe I just needed to stop feeling like an idiot in a room full of people pretending not to notice what was happening. As I passed, I heard Rachel calling after me, "Ethan, come on. It's just a dance. Relax. Just a dance." That line echoed in my head as I set my drink down and looked back at her, her hands still resting on Dylan's shoulders, the two of them laughing like nothing was wrong. Her mom tried to step in, but I didn't stay to see how it ended. I walked past the buffet table, through the exit, and out into the night air. I didn't yell. I didn't cause a scene. I didn't even text her. I just walked to my car, got in, and drove home. By the time I pulled into my driveway, my phone was already lighting up. "Rachel, where did you go?" "Rachel, you're being dramatic." "Rachel, it was literally a dance. Everyone saw it. Stop making it weird." That last message made me laugh. A bitter, quiet kind of laugh that comes when you finally realize you're done. So I turned my phone off, left it face down on the counter, and sat in silence for a long time. I didn't show up for brunch the next morning. I didn't text her back. I didn't need to. By the time she came home that night, the lock code had been changed and her things were packed into boxes by the door. The next morning, I woke up to 30 missed calls and a flood of messages. Some were from Rachel, some from her mom, and a few, surprisingly, from her sister apologizing for what had happened. Apparently, the story had already spread through the family. Rachel's messages started out defensive. "Rachel, you seriously left over that. Rachel, everyone thinks you overreacted. Rachel, Dylan means nothing. It was just fun." Then they shifted to pleading. "Rachel, can we just talk? Please, I'll come by. Rachel, you embarrassed me by leaving like that. We need to fix this before people start talking." Then came the anger. "Rachel, wow, you're really going to ghost me. Rachel, you're not innocent either. You've been cold for weeks. Rachel, don't act like you're perfect." That one made me laugh again. It's always the same script. First minimize what they did, then deflect the blame, then try to rewrite the story. By noon, her mom called. "Ethan, sweetheart, Rachel is very upset. She said there was some misunderstanding." I took a breath. "No misunderstanding, ma'am. I just don't want to be with someone who grinds on her ex at a wedding." There was a pause. Then her mom sighed. "I told her it was disrespectful. She doesn't seem to understand." "Yeah," I said quietly. "I noticed." I ended the call shortly after. There wasn't anything left to debate. That afternoon, Rachel showed up at my place. I didn't open the door, but I watched from the window as she stood on the porch. Messy hair, sunglasses clearly hung over. She called through the door. "Ethan, can we just talk? You're making this bigger than it is." I didn't respond. Are you seriously ignoring me like a child? It was one stupid dance. Everyone was drunk. You're acting like I slept with him on the dance floor. Her voice cracked a little at the end, like she realized she'd lost control of the story. After about 10 minutes of shouting, she finally gave up and left. 2 days later, she posted a long, vague Instagram story. One of those some people can't handle a strong woman having fun type of rants. I didn't take the bait, but mutual friends started reaching out. Dude, what happened? Rachel's telling everyone you overreacted and stormed out. So I told them the truth calmly, without spinning it. She danced with her ex in front of her entire family and told me to relax. That was it. It was enough. People could connect the dots themselves. Over the next week, the tone of her messages changed again. Rachel, I miss you. Rachel, we can get past this. You know we're good together. Rachel, please just talk to me. I can explain. Explain what exactly? I had already seen everything I needed to see. By the second week, her text started shifting from sad to bitter. Rachel, so you're really just done. Rachel, I didn't cheat. Ethan, God, you're pathetic. Rachel, you'll regret this. No one will ever love you like I did. That last one was funny. The kind of thing people say when they're not used to losing control. I didn't reply to any of them, not once. About a month later, I heard from one of her cousins. Apparently Dylan, the guy she was grinding on, had started seeing someone else almost immediately after the wedding. Rumor had it he told people Rachel had thrown herself at him that night, and he was just being polite. Rachel didn't take that well. Her cousin said she'd been drinking a lot, arguing with her parents, and even got into a fight with her sister, accusing her of ruining her life. I didn't feel pity, not anger either, just nothing. The silence I gave her was louder than any argument ever could have been. A few weeks passed, and the wedding incident started fading from people's everyday conversations. At least for me. I went back to work, focused on the gym again, and slowly started feeling human. Rachel, though, wasn't so lucky. Her sister's wedding video was uploaded to Facebook, the full recording. Somewhere around the 30-minute mark, you could clearly see Rachel grinding on Dylan while her parents looked mortified in the background. People clipped the moment, shared it, commented on it, laughed. It became the running joke of the entire family circle. Apparently, whenever someone's wedding playlist hit a slow song, someone would mutter, "Careful, don't pull a Rachel." She hated it. I wouldn't have known any of this if not for a mutual friend, Megan, who mentioned it over coffee. She's miserable, Ethan. Her family barely invites her to things now. Her mom said she embarrassed everyone. I nodded. That's rough. I didn't say it sarcastically, just neutrally, the way someone comments on the weather. She's still talking about you, though, Megan added. She told me she thinks you'll come around once you cool off. I smiled slightly. She might be waiting a long time. About a month later, Rachel texted again. Rachel, I've been thinking a lot lately. Rachel, I know I hurt you, but we had something real. Rachel, can we meet just to talk? No pressure. I left it on read. A few days later, another message appeared. Rachel, I've been in therapy. I'm working on myself. You'd be proud of me. Still nothing. Then came the voice message, the kind you can tell was recorded after a few drinks. Her voice sounded shaky, half angry, and half sad. You think you're so perfect, Ethan? You think walking away makes you better? You loved me once. T? That means nothing to you now. I didn't respond to that either. The next day, she showed up at my workplace. I was standing near the front counter when I saw her through the glass door. Sunglasses on, holding a coffee like she was trying to look casual. I stepped outside before she could come in. Rachel, I said calmly, keeping my voice even. You shouldn't be here. She frowned. I just wanted to talk. We can't end like this. It's been months. There's nothing left to end, I said simply. Her voice rose. He can't seriously still be mad about that stupid dance. I gave a small, tired smile. Mad? No. I just stopped caring. That one hit her. She blinked a few times like she didn't know how to process it. I made a mistake, okay? I was drunk and I didn't think. But you just disappeared. Ethan, you didn't even let me explain. You did explain, I said. You told me to relax. Her lips parted like she was about to argue, but no sound came out. She just stared at me, jaw tight, then looked down. Everyone hates me now, she muttered. My mom barely talks to me. Dylan's with some girl from his gym. It's like I lost everything at once. I stayed silent. Finally, she looked up again, her eyes glossy. You used to love me. Doesn't that mean anything? I took a breath. It did. But love doesn't survive disrespect. And once that's gone, there's nothing left to fix. She stood there for a few seconds, waiting for me to soften. I didn't. She let out a shaky laugh. Wow. So that's it. You just don't care. Not anymore. She blinked rapidly, biting her lip like she was trying to hold back tears. "You're cold, Ethan. Maybe?" I said. "Or maybe I just finally learned to match your temperature." She scoffed, shook her head, and walked away without another word. I watched her leave, not with satisfaction, not with anger, just a quiet sense of peace. How was the last time I saw her in person? 6 months later, I had almost forgotten Rachel existed. Life had settled into something quiet and good. I was promoted at work, started training for a marathon, and spent weekends with people who actually respected my time. My apartment felt bigger now, cleaner, calmer. Then one Friday night, I got a text from an unknown number. "Hey, it's me. Can we please talk?" I stared at it for a few seconds before realizing who it was. I'd deleted her number months earlier. A minute later, another message came through. "I saw you in Megan's story. You look happy. I'm glad. I just wish things had gone differently then. I miss you, Ethan. I really do." For a moment, I almost ignored it, but something in me wanted to hear what version of reality she was telling herself this time. So I replied, "What do you want, Rachel?" She responded almost instantly, "Just closure. I've been through a lot since the wedding. I lost friends. My family is still cold to me, and Dylan turned out to be a total piece of crap. I guess I just wanted to say sorry. I didn't realize what I had until it was gone. You were always good to me, maybe too good." I leaned back, looking at her messages, the same words everyone uses when the world stops enabling them. Before I could even type, another message came through. "I know you probably hate me, but maybe we could get coffee sometime, just to catch up." I typed slowly. "No need, I've already got closure." She replied, "You really don't care anymore, do you? After everything, after us, you just moved on like I never mattered." I paused for a moment, then sent my final message. "You mattered. You just don't anymore." She didn't respond for a while. Then, finally, "Wow, guess I deserve that. I hope she treats you better than I did, if there's someone else." "Is there?" I smiled at the screen. Not because there was someone, but because I genuinely didn't feel the need to fill the space she left behind. There was peace now. That was enough. And that was it. No more messages, no drama, just silence. A few months later, I ran into Megan again over coffee. She mentioned that Rachel had moved back in with her parents, quit her job, and was taking time to figure things out. Apparently, her dad still refused to talk about the wedding. Her sister's husband had banned Dylan from all future family events. And whenever someone joked about pulling a Rachel, she would leave the room in tears. Megan asked if I ever thought about reaching out. I just shook my head. I don't hate her. I just stopped trying to understand her. She smiled. "You're doing better than anyone expected." I shrugged. "I'm just done entertaining chaos." On my walk home that evening, I passed a restaurant where a wedding reception was happening inside. Music played. Couples danced. People laughed. For a brief second, I thought about that night. The lights. The music. Her voice telling me to relax. Then the thought drifted away like smoke. That's the difference between then and now. She wanted attention. I wanted peace. And peace won. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. What do you think about this story? Share it in the comments.